Hello, everyone, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. I'm so glad you're here with me, and I'm so glad to be here with you as well. So we are going to start like we normally do and listen to the sound of the bell. I invite you to just take a moment to slow down, to settle a little, to pause what you're doing, and take in this sound for a few slow breaths. Feel your soft belly expanding as you breathe in and releasing back toward your spine as you breathe out. And we'll just take a moment as we start to move into our topic for the day. Just take a moment to remember that there are others that are practicing, maybe not at the same time and in the same place, but this is a time that we can remember that others are also doing these practices, and that in this weird, ethereal, virtual, over the airwaves way, it connects us and it reminds us that we are all connected. So thank you so much for being here. In today's practice, we are going to talk about the amygdala. We actually have two amygdalas, okay? The amygdalas, two little tiny, small bits, little powerful parts of the brain that are deep inside the limbic system, okay? Their role is very connected to our survival brain and our brain stem. But the amygdala's job is to always be on the lookout. Think of it like kind of as a radar or a lookout on a big tower, scanning the environment, scanning what's around us, the people, even our thoughts, and letting us know if those things feel safe or dangerous or sort of a threat. So it's our protector, right? It's always asking the question, am I safe right now? And when the world, which, for a lot of us, the world feels really unpredictable, or life can feel really unpredictable at times in a lot of ways, it can feel overwhelming, the amygdalas will go into overdrive. And that can really shape how we think, how we feel, how we speak and act, often without even realizing it. So today we're going to talk about training our amygdalas. But before we do that, I want to talk about how we recognize when it's firing or starting to take over. So when the amygdalas are activated, the thinking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, our wise leader up here behind the forehead, will go offline. And you might notice feeling suddenly edgy or tense or even like flooded with emotion or sensations that are really uncomfortable. You might feel yourself having the urge to react immediately, or actually going into a full-blown reaction whether it's arguing or blaming or defending or snapping, trying to prove yourself. It can also show up as urgency, like everything feeling like it needs to happen right now and really speedy and quick. Can feel that like things are threatening even when they're not meant to be, or it's kind of a neutral interaction. It can feel threatening. It can be really hard to take in new information or keep our options open. We might feel spikes in emotions like anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, right? Or even the opposite of that, like feeling really numb, kind of shut down, just so much exhaustion, just wanting to disappear. So in your body, it may show up as lots of different sensations. You might feel jumpy. You might notice really tight jaw or other tense muscles clenched. You might have shallow breathing or racing heart or some heat or sweating happening. You can feel really revved up or just completely collapsed. So if any of this sounds familiar, which it probably does, you've probably felt some of those things at some point, right? I just want to say it does not mean you're irrational or dramatic or weak or that there's anything wrong with you. It means your brain is doing its job because it feels like there's something that could be a threat to you. So it just sends off the alarm signals. That's what it's made to do. And the whole attempt is that it's trying to help you stay alive. It's trying to help you to feel safe or to feel some sense of like protection or to tell you that you need to protect yourself. So when the amygdala is in charge, it doesn't respond very well to logic or facts or even reassurance sometimes. It may feel like you're not really open to connection or not open to a lot of options. The amygdala tends to respond better to things that give our body and our nervous system like a felt sense of steadiness and support and more of a sense of safety. So it's really helpful if we don't start talking down to ourselves or be like, amygdala, what is wrong with you? Or shame it or try to punish it. Doesn't really help. It can send those signals off even more and keep it going, kind of perpetuate it. But it does really respond to training. You can actually train your amygdala throughout your day, every single day, just a little bit of time, a little bit at a time. And it's best to do it when you're feeling okay or neutral so that those tools become more habits. You can call on them with more ease when you're feeling triggered or activated because you've practiced them enough to kind of have them in your system and you've rewired your brain a little bit. So it's easier to step into them when you're feeling triggered or activated or under threat or even perceived threat. So right now, I'm going to invite you to just tell yourself in this moment that I am safe enough. Okay? You don't have to be 100% safe, but you're safe enough. And then find a comfortable position, sitting, lying, or standing. And start to notice your body on the floor. So if your feet are on the floor, notice that. I'm going to rub my feet into the floor and just feel that. Or, if you're sitting in a chair and you want to notice underneath your legs or your hips, or you're laying down and you want to notice parts of the body that are touching the ground or the bed, whatever you're lying on. Just notice that contact. We're not forcing any calm or sense of relaxation, but we are giving our brain and our amygdala accurate present moment information, and that is that we are supported, right? And then we're going to move into using our eyes. So even if you're laying down, you're just going to orient yourself slowly, looking around the room. And let your eyes land on something that's neutral or pleasant. We've done this one before. And just name it silently. I see a blanket. Do that another few times. So maybe you see a plant or a picture or your pet. And you can just name it to yourself silently or even out loud if you'd like. And take just another few moments to look at one or two more things that you can name. My phone, right? This tells your amygdala, like, I know where I am. And right now, I am not trapped in this place. I'm not in danger, right? I can see my environment and I am okay. So it starts sending these signals of safety into your nervous system, into your body, and into your brain. And now let's just move on to paying attention to the breath. So explore just feeling your breath and maybe even gently lengthening your exhale. Try breathing in through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth. And you can even count your breath if you'd like to. You don't have to, but maybe breathe in for 3 or 4. And breathe out for 5 or 6. And I invite you to do that another couple of rounds, finding your own count and your own pace. Each longer count sends a direct signal to the amygdalas and to your vagus nerve, your nervous system and your body But it sends a signal that there's no immediate threat, because if you can exhale longer, that means that you're not having to be on guard or hypervigilant, prepared to protect yourself, right? Another great way to train your amygdala is by placing a hand somewhere where it feels good on your body. Maybe it's your chest or heart area, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your thighs or somewhere else. And just notice the warmth and maybe the pressure of your hand or hands. And let your breath stay slow, a little longer exhales. And then say to yourself in this moment, I am safe enough. And keep breathing in and out. And if it's helpful, you can move your hands or add a little pressure if you'd like. And repeat some of these phrases. Right now, I am okay. If you want to look around again, you can do that. Now, if and when your mind wanders, that's totally normal. Just come back to the sensations in your hands or in your breath or what you're noticing through your eyes and these phrases. And then the last thing, I'm going to invite you to bring something to mind that's real, that helps you to feel a little more settled. It could be a thought in your mind. It could be something that you're noticing in your space. Maybe it's the sensation in your feet or a sound in the room. Maybe it's the air on your skin. But just see if there's anything that we've already visited previously or something new that you're aware of that helps you to feel just a little more settled, or like I am okay in your body, in your nervous system. And just let your attention rest there for maybe 10 or 15 seconds. I'm noticing the warmth in my hands, and that feels pretty nice because this building is a little chilly, a little cool, a little drafty, but my hands are warm. And this just teaches the nervous system that neutrality is, and that okayness is available at any time, even in the midst of stress. So stress and that feeling, that even tiny, small, short feeling of safety, those can coexist. They can be there at the same time. And this doesn't mean we're avoiding, tough feelings. We're just widening the picture to notice that there's not just one reality. There isn't just anxiety. There isn't just feeling those uncomfortable feelings where we might feel some threat or anxiety, right? We can feel that, and we can also notice, oh, right now, my hand actually feels pretty nice, and that makes me feel a little more settled or not so caught up in the anxiety, even though I might still feel some of the anxiety, right? So just recognizing that we can do that at any time, in any moment. And these small, consistent moments of safety start to reshape how our nervous systems respond to the world. This is how we can start to reduce reactivity and create more of a pause between something that happens that might be activating or triggering and our reaction to it. It's how we help ourselves stay in more of a human space during hard times. This is how we become steadier people and more regulated in all the areas of our lives. And I wish this for all of us. I wish this for all of our leaders. So I invite you, as you move through this week, to try asking yourself, is my amygdala driving right now? Or my little amygdala is driving right now? If the answer is yes, or maybe, or they're about to, follow it with, what sign of safety can I offer my body right now? A hand on my chest, a breath, looking at a beautiful plant, petting my cat, or listening to a sound that is soothing, right? That's not avoidance. We're interrupting the cycle tendency, the habit to go into letting our amygdala take over. So it's training, right? We're repeating, we're interrupting that cycle over and over and over. And that builds that muscle of being able to come back into or more into regulation more often. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tending to your nervous system in a time when so many people are overwhelmed. This is how change starts, one regulated moment at a time, one nervous system at a time. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week for Self-Care Sunday. Until then, take care and peace to you.